Good evening. Good evening. It's I have to talk slowly because I've left half my notes at home. And Adam's just driven home for them. We also left the CDs at home. We brought all the booze and forgot the CDs, but they've arrived now, so you can buy them. Thank you all very, very much for being here. I'd intended to make another album sometime, and I had some songs written. But when I was diagnosed, as most of you know, with cancer last summer, I thought I'd better get on with it. And 9 months, Haley will know this, 9 months is a very good period for giving birth, yeah? Okay? Good luck with it. And so here it is. Today is the day the album gives birth. This is a very special and a personal event. And I am grateful and I'm absolutely humbled that so many of you have come thinking that after 72 years, I've still might have something interesting to say. Or perhaps you're thinking that after 72 years, I might at last have something interesting to say. And to make some nice music while saying it. And I'm very grateful you come to support Tessa and I, who, as you know, we're not in the greatest of health at the moment. There's people here from our family and from pretty much every period and part of my life, and of our lives. Some of you are old enough to have been at university with me in the 18th century. Some of you are young enough to think that Simon & Garfunkel is a New York legal firm. There are people here who are runners. There are people here who are, oh yes, runners can cheer. And there's a few here who are running on Sunday as well. Okay? Including, I'm looking for Steve. Where are you? You can't normally miss Steve because he's 6'7". Anyway, he's running on Sunday. There's people from the church here, and particularly from Cafe Church. Cafe Church is a renegade congregation that meets in the lounge on Sundays that I was part of for 20 years. And I love them, and I'm so glad a whole lot of them have come tonight. And the people I've worked with, people I've known from all kinds of times and places. So it's a very strange, it's a bit like I've just died. I don't think I have. And my life is passing before me. So I just want to briefly say thank you up front to the people who've helped put this wedding reception together, because it feels a bit like that. Particularly to Tessa and to Marion and the others who've organized all the refreshments, and to Sam and David. Sorry, give them a clap. And there is plenty more to eat and drink afterwards. So, and to Sam and David who've done the... Sam and Dave, that's a 70s, 60s, 70s band, isn't it? Anyway, Sam and Dave who've done the technology for everything and are running the live stream. And I'd also like to thank Sam, who's the vicar of this church. It's not a church event, but St. John's has been really supportive, as Tessa and I have been members here for 40 years. And Sam and I, where are you? Stand up. Where are you? There he is. Sam and I have two great things in common. One is that he's the only vicar in 40 years who's been here who's a musician. The other is that although we've only known each other a short time, Sam and I have suffered and struggled together quite deeply. We both support Manchester United. So there are a lot of people I could thank, but I consider yourself thanked if you've been part of any of that or organizing this event. Before I mention the charity we're supporting and what's going to happen, Tessa is going to say a few words. I know my place.
So I'd like to welcome all the family and friends who are joining us all over the world on live stream. It's wonderful that you're able to see us in wildly different time zones. It's only 4:30 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia, so please let's all give a loud cheer and a wave to our family who are watching at 4:30 in the morning. Hooray! And a huge welcome to those who are watching in New Zealand, South Africa, the USA, Denmark, France, Greece, Poland, Spain and Sweden, and in other countries as well. Of course, many people are watching from the UK, and we're delighted that you're all here. And I want to say a warm hello to those who may be watching in weeks or months to come. So a few words about the album from my point of view. What is it like being married to wonderful Godfrey while he's doing an album? Well, I'm still here, so that must tell you something. Well, I know that some people have cruises and bungee jumps on their bucket lists. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, Godfrey has had running several times a week and making an album on his. He's kept going, whatever grim treatments he's been having, and I've had the joy of hearing these beautiful songs wafting out of his study for many months. So I'm one of these really annoying people who usually can't hear song lyrics. However, in the case of the Entangled album, I've found that the words are worth reading and rereading and thinking about deeply. I know I'm biased, but I think that Godfrey is a superb poet anyway. And what makes this album unique is that it weaves music and poetry closely together. This album has made me think deeply about the truth of the universe. It makes me ask, what's it all about? Why is our beautiful world such a mess? What can I do about it? And where's God in all this? I also think that Entangled reflects Godfrey's kind nature, his really positive view of people, and his generous view of the creator of our universe. For me, Godfrey's album shines with the power of love to bring down walls and bring out the best in us. It's an amazing achievement, and I'm so very proud of you. Speaking of being proud, I'm also extremely proud of our son Adam, who happens to be walking up here. Come. Adam has had such love and patience during the production of this album, and he's given so much time and skill. It's been amazing. I'm also really grateful to our grandson Leo, who is 7, he's somewhere around. There he is. Thank you, Leo, for your hard work on the one track, and you'll hear Leo a bit later. Well, it's been a rough, tough road these past few months. Having 2 of us with advanced cancer is no picnic, and we're both so grateful for your love, your prayers, and for people involved in cancer research. You'll be glad to know that the making of Entangled has made me smile. It's so great to have had the wow moments and the excitement of Godfrey and other talented people who've taken part. They've created something unique for us all to enjoy. Thank you.
Why do I have a slight feeling I'm at my own funeral at the moment? Thank you very much, Tessa. We are supporting, if this works, and it does, Cancer Research UK, for obvious reasons. It's one of the leading funders of research into cancer in the world. Tessa and I both have incurable stage 4 cancers. But we're both alive today because of particular medical breakthroughs through cancer research. When I launched my last album exactly 7 years ago, Tessa had just been diagnosed as a never smoker with incurable lung cancer, and at that point with an expectation for living for maybe a year. 9 months ago, I was diagnosed with incurable gastroesophageal cancer, which historically has very poor outcomes. Both of us are here today because of new treatments, targeted therapy and immunotherapy, which would not have been available just a short time before we were diagnosed. Support for this charity saves and prolongs lives for so many people for whom 10, 20, or 30 years ago there was no hope. So please give generously and enjoy the album as well. Tonight we're going to hear all 8 tracks in order. A word of warning, 8 tracks sounds like quite a short album. Those of you who know me, 4 of them, Alan is nodding there, he knows, he's played them. 4 of the tracks are normal length, the other 4 are double length. So think of it as maybe a special 12-track album. And in between the tracks, I'll introduce some of the wonderful contributors who are over here to talk a little bit just about how the project came together. All the words for all the songs are on the screen, so make sure you've got a screen that you can see. And we put the videos together basically to help, not because that's what you should mainly be watching, but just as a prompt to make sure you can hear clearly what's being said and sung. And after the playback, you can buy copies of the CD or tokens which will allow you to download the album immediately from Bandcamp. We'll be chatting a bit, but we won't have a Q&A session. Those of you at Cafe Church, I know, will be disappointed because we will get off on tangents for an hour. But unfortunately, we've got to get home tonight, so we won't do that. The album will be on YouTube and on Spotify soon, but you don't make any money for charity on YouTube and Spotify. So the first couple of weeks, it'll be on Bandcamp because that's where all the money, basically, coming from you will go through an account of mine into cancer research. Neither I nor anybody else earns money from this particular project. I've never in 40 years taken any money myself from writing poetry or music, even though it's made quite a lot. And actually that's incredibly liberating because I can do it. As these guys have been saying, they have to work for a living and they have to play what they're told sometimes. I can do what I like, okay. So to the album, as you know, I recorded these tracks while having treatment for cancer, and making this album was great therapy. I wanted it to be 4 things: beautiful, thoughtful, truthful, and hopeful. Beautiful, if it is so, it's because of these guys, because of a bunch of great musicians, all but one of them professionals, who just bring their own, what I asked them to do, their own wordless voices to this, and collaborated in making this quite special sound. I'll be introducing them as we go through. I wanted it to be thoughtful because I think too much. I'm also the generation where people wrote long songs with 18 verses, you know, the 60s and 70s. Adam, my son, the producer, tells me that the average song now that he produces is 2.5 minutes long. Okay? I'm not going to manage that, and also I'm unlikely to challenge Taylor Swift for being good looking, so I'll stick with what I do. I wanted it to be then truthful. The subtitle is Voices in a Quantum Universe. Each song has different voices in it. They're not all necessarily my voice. So please enjoy Entangled as you might enjoy a play or a story that you've not seen or heard before, with different characters and clashes of views. You wouldn't expect to agree with all the voices. You're in a church, but there's nobody preaching today. We're all wrong about many things. A great mystic and a great scientist, 2 themes of the album, agree on this. St. Paul, often quoted in this church, said that we see now as in a mirror dimly, or if you're very old, in a glass darkly. We don't see clearly truth. The Nobel Prize winner, Paul Lee, said, and I like this, the best that most of us can hope to achieve is simply to misunderstand at a deeper level. What Paul and Paulie both share is a profound human desire to find out and know truth as far as they can, whether by evidence or by revelation, knowing that their answers are incomplete and misleading. Finally, I wanted it to be hopeful, because that's my nature, but also I think there are good reasons in a very serious time in the world for us to be hopeful on all levels. And I hope that comes across in the songs. There's lots more I could say, but I'll let the songs speak for themselves. The title, as Jenny spotted, comes from quantum mechanics, which is, as I understand, I'm not a scientist, the most successful scientific explanation of reality that human beings have ever devised. It's 100 years old, it's weird and paradoxical, but it works astonishingly well. And I've come to believe quantum entanglement is at the heart, one of the heart features of quantum physics. And I've come to believe that many things are profoundly entangled. And in order to put this in context, I've asked my longtime collaborator, Joe, to read a very short poem by Shel Silverstein. Some of you may know his poetry. Some of you may know that he's the writer of Sylvia's Mother, which is surely the greatest telephone heartbreak song of the 20th century. For that alone, he deserves a Nobel Prize. Joe is going to read a poem called Zebra Question. I'm going to put, hopefully, maybe if I go the right way. Yeah, here's the drawing that goes with it.
I asked the zebra, are you black with white stripes or white with black stripes? And the zebra asked me, are you good with bad habits or are you bad with good habits? Are you noisy with quiet times or are you quiet with noisy times? Are you happy with some sad days or are you sad with some happy days? Are you neat with some sloppy ways or are you sloppy with some neat ways? And on and on and on and on and on and on he went. I'll never ask a zebra about stripes again.
I've come to believe that many things are profoundly entangled, and they're not meant to be separated. Love and hate, good and bad, male and female, religion and science, competition and cooperation. These and other things are not divided by clear borderlines, but each pair stand at opposite ends of a spectrum. Now, this is what I've come to believe. We're in a church, but these are the words of Godfrey, not the words of God, as I used to say at Catholic Church. We live out our lives in the spaces created by the tensions between these things, where sacrificial love for one another is born. And even in the shadows of hate and evil, love flourishes. The first track is called, I now have the notes that Adam gave me, a little note on each track. The first track is called Belief. It seems to me that we don't choose our beliefs. And that's beliefs of any kind, whether it's religious or political or simply believing that somebody's a reliable person or believing in Santa. We arrive at our beliefs like arriving at a station through many influences and experiences, internal and external. And beliefs are often probabilities. We may think something is true, but be less than sure of it. The first two lines of the chorus of this song, "With more wisdom comes more sorrow," are taken from my favorite Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes. And the last verse is a snapshot of some of the things I've come to believe at the time of writing.
We never know what we will know tomorrow. We don't choose our belief. When I was young, I saw the blue horizon, the rainbows and the pot of gold. I believed I had a guardian angel. I believed what I was told. I found people had their own agendas hidden behind their eyes. They took my loyalty to serve their purpose, took my money for life. With more wisdom comes more sorrow, more knowledge, more greed. We never know what we will know tomorrow. We don't choose our belief. Can't choose what our elders tell us. Can't choose our DNA. Can't choose what anybody wants to sell us. Can't choose what they say. We can pick some fights to walk away from, pick some of the places we go. Choose to spend our time on self-indulgence or justice, but we can't choose what we know. With more wisdom comes more sorrow, more knowledge, more greed. We never know what we will know tomorrow. We don't choose our belief. I see an empty skyline fade in the evening light. Hope is a rope thrown like a lifeline from a voice in the night. The sun sets or the planet turns, appearance hides the evidence. Faith is a bet on beliefs that we come to that seem at the time to make sense. I believe the first creator laid down the natural law. I suppose that just a moment later the Big Bang broke out in applause. I believe it was the basic intention. Lovable creatures should emerge from the gloom. I believe in the dying lover. I don't know about the empty tomb. With more wisdom comes more sorrow, more knowledge, more greed. We never know what we will know tomorrow.
thank you. That's actually a great relief. I didn't say you are allowed to clap. Please do that. And by the way, if you need to get up and go to the loo or want to go out and get some food or anything, please do it between the tracks. Don't disturb anyone. Now, I'm going to introduce people who are playing. The first person I'm going to introduce is David FITZGERALD. Several people said to me, how do you make an album? And I realized their idea, they imagined everybody got in the studio and all stood around a microphone and played it all together. Because it isn't at all like that. And I took a few very short clips in the studio when we were doing it. And the first is a clip of Adam and David together. Hopefully we'll have this. Yeah. See how it works.
Like that.
Yeah.
Ba, ba,
Yeah.
ba.
That works.
Yeah, let's carry on.
And then I can put harmonies over that.
Let's do that. I shouldn't have stopped you. Here we go.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we should come off that note there, though. Yeah.
Maybe we could do. Instead of going on the beat there, we could go. Ba.
Yeah, that's good.
Ba.
Can I track that high one?
Yeah.
Because you've gone. Can I?
David FITZGERALD, who plays all of the saxophones, woodwinds, whistles, and everything on the album, is one of the finest players in the country. I've known him for 30 years. Come up and give him a clap. David, something about your contribution to this album.
Okay. I don't often do this, so a bit nervous. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting being a wind player or a keyboard player, or my dear friend TERL plays drums. Everyone knows who TERL is. We played together in a band, and when you do a band project, you tend to go together into a project, and you have specific ideas. But when invited to do this, now I've known Godfrey 30 years, a long, long time, and I first met Godfrey when he was with Shattuck and Rust. Who remembers Shattuck and Rust? Yeah, and so TERL and you were on the album as well.
Jeff
yeah.
would have been here, but he has COVID. That's why.
So we basically go back quite a way, but we haven't seen a lot of each other, have we? We played together at the Albert Hall. Yeah. You know, it's quite a good gig to get, isn't it? I mean, you know, yeah. Was that the only
And
gig
this
we
is
did?
the third. This is the third album we've done.
Yeah, the third album. But the first time I met Adam was about 7 years ago, the last project, and we worked together at home, didn't we, in the lounge? But going into the studio this time was so much better, I thought, because, I don't know, he just gave... what I thought was lovely about what Godfrey has just said and shared with us, he had very specific ideas about, obviously, the concepts and the themes of every song, and they were very deep, as you can see. They're not light lyrics, are they? They're searching and probing. But and so my job as a wind player was to take my saxophones and my flutes and my whistles and stuff, and then they all laid out in the studio, and to pick from each of those sounds and responses that might add atmosphere and embellish your words, but not get in the way, which is so important. And one of the instruments, which is an unusual one, I use, and you're going to hear this on... Is it only on Entangled, Adam, that I play this one? Come on, play it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to. I will do that just for you. Yeah, so this is it's called a dizzy. This is from China. And I've collected quite a lot of instruments on my travels as a musician. And this one's got a very specific set of notes. Tell me if you think you know the scale. Nice, isn't it? So already you can feel an atmosphere, can't you? And that's the beauty of instruments where you breathe through them, because you bring the breath into the frame. And there's a wonderful word called ruach, which means spirit and breath. And I believe very much it's the Spirit of God who breathes through us to produce the atmosphere. Because I think music is a God-given thing, don't you? I'm going to play this again. I'm going to show you another atmosphere you can create. You can be quite joyful with it.
David Fitzgerald.
Can I just finish by saying it's been a real privilege to be a part of this project and to know Tessa and spend time with you both these last few weeks. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, David. One of the most fun I've ever had was being in the studio for 5 hours watching Adam and David going backwards and forwards over stuff. It was wonderful. The next track is called Leave It to Me. Now, this is one of the longer tracks. The subtitle for this track is Voices of the Ruthless. And it's actually a short history of humanity. My songs are not ambitious. In the form of a jazz song. It's based on the book Sapiens and its follow-up, Homo Deus. Some of you will have read this, I'm sure. It was a big bestseller, great book. By Yuval Harari. And at the beginning and end of it, just to give it a bit of context, I used the myth of the Garden of Eden to shape that story. That gives it a way of kicking it off. The song was written several years ago, but it's actually a ballad very suitable for the time of Trump and Putin and Xi and the tech bros and the oligarchs who profit from them and who are currently looting the world, building walls between us and them as they go. Leave it to me.
In the Garden of Eden, it's a beautiful day. God says, Adam, Eve, come here, I got something to say. Look at this marriage, what a husband, what a wife. Look at this garden, it's just teeming with wonderful life. But it's wild and it's crazy, and I need you to subdue it. Adam looked round from the sky to the ground, he said, I think I see how to do it. Leave it to me, leave it to me. When you're dead and we're buried, you got to bequeath it to me. Yeah, leave it to me. I will name all the animals as you commanded. You can be sure they'll all be well husbanded. If they're cute or they're useful, I'll domesticate them. If they're fierce or exciting, I'll be sure to eliminate them. I'll get my hands on all the levers of power, the tree of knowledge and the Babel Tower. I'll harness the wind, I will capture the sun. I'll answer all Job's questions, but the final one,
I'll take that.
leave it to me, leave it to me. Leave the living and thieving and all the achieving to me. Leave it to me. This uncivil partnership is a beautiful thing. You can be priest, I will be king.
We'll teach the others how they should be.
Just enough to be useful, not enough to be free. We'll build with their strength, we'll fight with their bravery. We'll take them to the circus and we'll sell them into slavery. We'll promise the earth and deliver them dirt and kill them with kindness, 'cause love's gotta hurt. I'll grieve them with me, yeah, grieve them with me. Load the natives and blacks with diseases and tax and bereave them with me, yeah, grieve them with me. trust me.
And I don't trust you.
I just trust you trust the same things that I do.
The myths of money and incorporation,
Things made from nothing but our collective imagination.
like the gods that we conjure for our fear or our favor.
The pride of a nation under a self-proclaimed savior. Believe it with me. I believe it with me. Anything is achievable if you conceive it with me. Yeah, believe it with me. Family for my individual voice, and I paid with community for my consumer choice. But now I can't find my mind, I can't find my soul, I can't find my will. It seems I just respond to external control. I thought I was in here somewhere, but I'm just an illusion, a channel of consciousness in a stream of confusion. I'll leave some of me, please leave some of me. The science I believe in, stop believing in me. I'll leave some of me. Now I burn my bridges and I barbed wire my fences. I'm the high court judge of the law of unintended consequences. With peace in our empire, blood on our borders, we'll build the machines of eternal life to the algorithm's orders. I'm gorging on data, grown too big for my genes. I'm the lord of information, just don't know what it means. So I'm stripping out the assets of this limited planet. Leave the prophets who lost the seeds of blindness to man it. To hell with humans, to hell with weather. Gonna play with my DNA and live in this hell forever. I'll leave it to me, leave it to me. I'll make myself immortal, retrieve it for me. Yeah, I'll leave it to me. I'm gonna leave it to me.
Oh, leave it to me.
This is the optional religious coda. Other endings are available.
Back in the garden, God was looking for the man. He saw the carnage, said that didn't go to plan. Picked up the meaning that the man didn't find in the love and compassion that they left behind. He said, without this, you gotta fear for their help. If they're not coming back for it, better take it there myself. Leave it to me, leave it to me. Some Good Friday, they'll receive it from me. Leave it to me, yeah, leave it to me. I'll leave it to me. Leave it to me.
I wonder how many people under the age of 40 knew who any of those guys in the black and white films were. And by the way, in the middle, that little cartoon GIF, in case you didn't recognize it, was very early Mickey Mouse being kicked in the butt. Right, so, okay, the next person I don't have a little video clip of because I was so captivated by her singing that I didn't have the video. But singing the vocal on that and on most of the other tracks is Charlotte Churchman. Where are you? Come on. And tell me about Entangled.
How I ended up involved in this.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have known Godfrey probably not as long as most people here, but I have been good friends with Adam for a very long time. And it's weird. It seems that our lives have kind of crisscrossed in the most unexpected ways.
Yeah, for quite a while, we were getting her mail addressed to our house. She never lived there. I don't know how this happened. Right?
I think, as we'd say, you get in where a draft doesn't. And from rehearsing and recording at your house throughout kind of my teen years, to randomly bumping into you at Ealing Soup Kitchen, where we turned up to do a choir thing with the community choirs running, and you were obviously volunteering
Shel
there.
used to run a choir that did the Monday Night Hub. For those of you from Cafe Church who know that. He did that quite,
So it's kind of weaved in and out, and then over the past couple of years, I started a business, and Godfrey has been unbelievably helpful throughout all of that in advising on contracts and all of the boring legal stuff that us creatives hate. And had just kind of said, oh, by the way, I'd love you to sing on a couple of songs. And I obviously didn't know quite what I was getting myself in for, but I cannot express how grateful I am that I have been involved. It's working as a creative and in the music industry is not always easy, and the passion turns into a job, as I'm sure we all feel at times. And it's been really inspiring just seeing someone go, actually, everything else doesn't matter, and this thing is really important to me, and it's not about making money, and it's not about anything other than trying to just give something creative to the world, and that has just been a real joy to be involved with.
Thank you. Charlotte, I call her voice, she has a chameleon voice. Every song she sings, she can just adapt instantly for it. And there's one song coming up at the end, which is an absolute treat that Charlotte sings on. So you can't leave before it finishes because of that. And the next track is a short one. And it's called Listen to Me. This was actually written at Cafe Church. On hearing about a listening project, it occurs to me that life could be seen as a listening project. And like others in these songs, the voices may belong to all of us at one time or another.
I'm fighting my battles with the world outside, fighting my demons and my foolish pride. Listen to me, please listen to me. I don't want your pity, don't want your dime, just give me a little of your precious time. Listen to me, please listen to me.
No one ever told me there were ways to live another life. Sometimes I lie awake and think I'll never make it through the night.
Answer the door, don't leave me alone. Don't worry about that message on your mobile phone. Just listen to me, please listen to me. Don't have to take sides, don't have to respond. Not waiting for you to wave a magic wand. Just listen to me, please listen to me.
Voices hiding in my head. I just drown. Sometimes I talk for hours, just pretending that I'm not alone.
No need to speak, no need to cry, no need to think, you know the reason why. Just listen to me, please listen to me. You just raise your brow, you just raise a smile, you raise up my spirits in a little while. When you listen to me, you just listen to me. When you listen to me, you just listen to me.
The next musician, the beautiful cello played on that was by Sam Brown. Sam was going to be here, but he got a gig tonight, and when you're a working musician, you take the gig. So he's not here. But I have a little clip of Sam, who was at school with Adam 15 years ago, and they both became professionals with other friends. The two of them working on a track in the studio.
The next section starts on a G. Maybe you could just finish on a B. And then let the B fade across onto the G chord. Yeah, definitely. That's really nice. That's really nice. Give that another run, see how it goes. 1, 2. Maybe like...
Sorry, I forgot about the D, yeah.
Yeah, all about...
Let's do it one more time.
If you hear anything that sounds like a string section, it's all Sam doing it. The next track, some of you Cafe Church know this song because we've sung it there quite a few times. Voices of a Church. Why does someone go to a church in a quantum universe, in a scientific age? It's common now to assume that someone is wholly on one side or the other of an imagined fence, like the one that's often erected between science and religion. But people don't live usually in neat boxes and beliefs. And they're often partial, provisional, and entangled with one another. And they change. Religion can be joyful, mystical, consoling, controlling, inspired, and nonsensical. I wrote this song to reflect some voices in Cafe Church where it was clear that everyone is unique and there's often no possibility of getting agreement on anything, sometimes within a single person. But that's true of many churches and many other religious or political groups to which you might belong. The need for hope and acceptance is surely greater than the need for shared belief. And Gita, if you want to dance a little bit to this, or anybody else does, you can do that.
Mr. Jesus, they told me that you're home. I come to share in your house of prayer, don't want to be alone. I come here for the coffee and to meet my buddies too. And I come, 'cause sometimes I meet you. Kinda like your music, the hymns and the rock and roll. I like the way on a blessed day it slips into my soul. If it's ancient or it's modern, don't know how or why, you can fill this place with amazing grace. We'll see you lifted high. High, Mr. Jesus, hoping that you're home. I come to share in your house of prayer, don't want to be alone. I come here for the coffee and to meet my buddies too. And I come, 'cause sometimes I meet you. Go gently with the dogma, it isn't always true. Please don't bring a list of things that I should say or do. I need to hear the hope of heaven, I need to hear that it's okay to be a broken fool who needs a miracle to get through another day. Hey, Mr. Jesus, be waiting there at home when I come to share in your house of prayer, don't want to be alone. Come here for the coffee and to meet my buddies too. And I come, 'cause sometimes I need you. I don't know why you don't always take our call when we reverse the charge. I don't understand why the promised land often seems like a mirage. But I heard the tale of Easter, that thing you did to death. So I guess I'll be what you ate and eat until I draw the dying breath. Hey, Mr. Jesus, be waiting there at home when I come to share in your house of prayer, don't want to be alone. Come here for the coffee and to meet my buddies too. And I come, 'cause sometimes I meet you. Oh yes, I come, sometimes I meet you.
On playing guitar on that and the other tracks is Dan Corbett. And I've got a clip here actually of Dan playing on the second verse of that song with Adam. And Adam is actually shouting out the chords to him as he's playing it, okay? This is how it works.
Yeah, do. Here we go. Whoa. G,
It isn't always true.
E minor,
Please don't
C,
bring a list of things that I should say
E for
or
2,
do.
E minor,
I need to hear
minor, A major, climb up to C sharp, G, D. That was Have a listen,
Here's the man. Dan is the son of Niall, who is my always percussion man, playing here, playing live. Niall and Alan, who's over there, plays drums. We played together many, many, many times. And Dan used to play, before he became a megastar, he used to come and play in church here sometimes with us. He was my go-to person to come and play guitar on this. So come up and talk to us.
I was a little bit worried at first. I thought I was wearing exactly the same T-shirt as on the video. It's not too dissimilar, is it? So having had the pleasure of playing on your previous album, or one of your previous albums, I jumped at the chance of playing on this album. It's not often I get to do any, well, I guess you would call Sunday morning stuff. I'm normally playing a lot of Bollywood and other stuff. But this is such a pleasure to play on. And amazing. Please, guys, can everyone give this man a round of applause? Godfrey Rust. And it was such a pleasure, again, working with this man. Adam, you're the man. Thank you.
To go out to get a drink or something to eat, please feel free in the gaps between the tracks. There's plenty of it out there to do that. The next track's Humankind. Now, voices of the hopeless and the hopeful. Like all forms of life on Earth, we're entangled in war and peace by our DNA. It's just the way we are. We're destined both to cooperate and to compete with one another and with other species so that we might survive or we might reproduce. Like many pre-scientific ideas, it seems that it's probably not true that we've fallen from some imagined state of perfection. All the evidence is that life has been this way for 4 billion years since it began on Earth. And while genetics may not be the whole human story, it's certainly a part of it. This song was inspired by 2 books particularly. This book, The Dawn of Everything, which makes it clear that the early hunter-gatherer and settled cultures weren't knuckle-dragging Stone Age people. Or they were actually much more sophisticated, peaceful, and egalitarian than we thought, or than we are. And then this book, remarkable book, Humankind by Rutger Bregman, makes a very strong case that human beings are significantly more good than bad. Both these books suggest that the oppressive, controlling state that now most nations have has been by no means the only or the best way to organize large societies, and that cooperation, not control, makes the most of us. And this song talks a little about that.
Walking home along the river, I heard a voice in the night. Something in it made me shiver. Something wasn't alright. It said, "You think I'm a loser, hiding here in shame. But I'm not the only chooser in the story. It's a multiple player game." I was sent from the boardroom. I was sent by the party elite. Wherever money or sex or power puts a person in the driving seat. They gave the cash to the winners. They promised it would trickle down. But all that trickled was their crocodile tears, in which I'm lying in this doorway to drown. The voice said, humankind, holding other people in mind. Humankind, knowing that we're all intertwined. Knowing that we're all intertwined. They locked up Galileo when he said the earth moved. It was a threat to their religion's power. Didn't matter that it could be proved. Jesus died on a Friday, but not for sin or the fall. He didn't die 'cause people stole when they were hungry, but for speaking truth to power, that's all. The voice fell back into silence, but I knew where I'd heard it before. It was the voice of any woman used by any man, any slave that scrubbed a master's floor. It was the voice of the victim of each false confession that's forced. The voice of any passenger on any train to the chambers of the Holocaust. Humankind, caring for the ones left behind. Humankind, knowing that we're all intertwined. Knowing that we're all intertwined. As I turned from the silence, a different voice came my way. Said, that isn't my story, that's not what I am every day. Even in the noise of battle, it's my family I'm thinking of. And I was calling when the towers were falling, with my last words not of hate but of love. Said, I'm the nurse, the teacher, the doctor, the volunteer. I'm the seeker and the reacher, bringing hope where the preacher brings fear. I'm the fighter for justice. I believe there can be a way to fix the wars, the climate, the rule of the lions, while everything is still in play. Humankind, working with whatever you find. Humankind, knowing that we're all intertwined. Knowing that we're all intertwined. Take a look at the Iron Age. Take a look at the Bronze. Well, they were often much more civilized than we were told. Now it's been studied by the Rust and the Don. They talk things out together. Everybody had a voice. They didn't let the greedy hoard the power and the money. Sharing was the people's choice. Voices hang in the balance as they have from the very first word. Where the drive to make life or to kill to survive is in every insect, animal and bird. Then came Homo sapiens, troubled by a double mind, and born to look for meaning in the power of the sun, and hoping it won't leave us blind. Humankind, wondering what we might find. Humankind, knowing that we're all intertwined. Knowing that we're all intertwined. Knowing that we're all intertwined.
Different voice, different voices. On that track, there's some particularly beautiful backing vocals in the style of barbershop or doo-wop. Why you would have barbershop doo-wop vocals, which were kind of traditional for slushy 1950s love songs, why you would have it on a song like that? I'm not quite sure, but it came to me one day that this would be a nice idea. And my older son, Joel, who is a classical composer and teaches at New York University, I said, Joel, have you ever written any barbershop or doo-wop? And he said, no, but I'll have a go. So we did that. And before he comes up, I have one last little clip from the studio of Joel and Laura, his wife, who's in New York, so she's not here. They sang all those backing vocals. And this is a little clip of Joel teaching Laura, they're not recording, teaching Laura a tiny bit of that vocal.
So from 1, 3, and do wah wah, do do wah, do ba do ba ba. Sorry, do ba do do ba. This is a slightly unusual. Okay, 3, 4. Do ba do ba, dum ba dum. And now it's something.
Tell us about your response to the question.
Okay. I mean, firstly, it was so lovely to get a chance to write something for Laura to sing. I think she's the one non-professional of the contributors.
Laura has a fabulous voice, but
yeah.
you get. I don't know whether you're professional, but you get paid for what you do. Okay, so. It's a fine line, you know.
Yeah. And she's got such a wonderful voice, and it was so nice to get a shot. It's been a couple of years since we've been able to actually make music together seriously like this, and so it was really lovely to get a chance to do it.
You had to come and sing doo-wop in the studio in London to do it. Yeah.
But then you played me an early demo of this, and you suggested that this doo-wop accompaniment could work for it, and I agreed. It seemed a little strange, this genre. Normally it's the love song or the music novelty that gets this doo-wop accompaniment. Instead, it's telling this story whose topic is all humankind. I guess in my experience, making art, making music about love and hope and joy, without being trite or false, it's a lot harder than tackling more negative or superficially weighty matters. And doo-wop did grow out of very negative circumstances. It developed from rhythm and blues in the 50s because many young, talented African-American musicians couldn't afford instruments, and so instead they used whatever they could find. They used their voices to make this really beautiful stuff. And Humankind has a different context and a different subject matter, but I think it shares that attitude of finding positives amongst really difficult things. And another thing, aside from Adam and Tessa, I think I've maybe heard the most of the development of this album from its initially rather disparate collection of songs to a really, really cohesive piece of work. And in some ways, I think it's really unified by this diversity, all of these different musical styles from this doo-wop to everything else everyone's brought. I think that diversity really makes it cohere together, all these different voices together. So thank you for having me along.
Thank you, Jody. 3 tracks to go. Stick with it. This is the only genuinely autobiographical track, and actually the one track that I'm quite nervous about because it is quite a personal track. And it's the only song which is definitely my voice. The rainbow and the rising moon are among things that have inspired wonder, worship, longing, and creativity from the earliest times of humanity. But we also know now that they're just physical stuff. The rainbow doesn't actually exist as a thing. It's just something we perceive because of the mechanics of light. And the moon is not a goddess, but a rock orbiting our planet, reflecting light from the nearest star and causing movements of tides by the force of gravity. We are prisoners of changing perceptions in time and space, caught between these glimpses of the mundane and the magical. When I found the explanations of religion and science to be inadequate, I found at times human love and creativity have different kinds of significance, which add dimensions to both of them. You and I won't see things in the same way, and the meaning of life is simply bound to be different for each one of us. Musically, you could think of this track as what might happen if Paul Simon and Van Morrison got badly drunk together one night and tried to turn one of Richard Holloway's later books into a song.
Who am I?
Think everything is good for me. Don't think tomorrow will never come. Don't think honor is our destiny. It's in the beating of the drums. Go out thinking in the afternoon and talk too loudly on the street. See the rainbow and the rising moon. I feel the dead beneath my feet. It's too long since I saw you walking down the road ahead of me. It's too long. Time fades to history. Too long since you loved me on the hillside in the morning sun. Too long. Memory's just a loaded gun. I saw the stories on the silver screen. I walked the moorland of my youth. Mistook the longings of precocious teens, revelations of the truth. Caught their echo in a sacred tune of noble sacrifice and loss. Between the rainbow and the rising moon, I saw the shadow of a cross. I took religion as you take a bribe that comes with benefits and fear. Took my place within the shuffling tribe, hoping the Jordan's somewhere near. Took my medicine from the sacred spoon to purge the damage and the doubt. Between the rainbow and the rising moon, I saw the medicine running out. Too long, waiting for the silent listener we call God. Too long, the dark Emmaus road we trod. Too long, waiting for another coming of the Son of Man. Too long, praying in the wreckage of a misread plan. By the magic arts of the sun's entropic beams that said you're just the product of your moving parts, and you will vanish with your dreams. I was there when someone died too soon. I was there when someone fell apart. Between the rainbow and the rising moon still lies the homeland of the heart. Love is the architect of nature's laws. Love is the force that moves the stars. Love is the proximate enabling cause that makes the beauty and the scar. Love is the rock from which hate treads you. Love watches on while passion dies. Between the rainbow and the rising moon, love finds the wounds to cauterize. Too long to say that meaning's just illusion through a prism of light. Too long, burning like a fire in the freezing night. Too long to say that beauty's just an accident of DNA. Too long, thinking we'll swat every miracle away. From red to violet the rainbow shifts, with no clear borders or divides. Across the evening sky the pale moon drifts and tugs our heartstrings like the tide. They don't know or care who's looking on, what we think they signify. They'll do it all again when we're long gone. Never need a reason why. Paint stenciled hands in ancient caves greet us across 9,000 years. Cathedral roofs above medieval naves, soaked in human hopes and fears. Every story, play or dance or tune, every picture, every rhyme, between the rainbow and the rising moon, tries to arrest the flow of time. So long to light a spark of recognition in another's mind. So long to leave leave a fragment in our legacy of humankind. So long, to find if God's on call or heaven has a memory. So long, to seize the day before the night falls. Don't think everything is good for me. Don't think tomorrow never comes. Don't think perfection is our destiny. It's in the beating of the drum. I'd go out running in the afternoon, talk too loudly on the street, see the rainbow and the rising moon, feel the dead beneath my feet.
I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you. That applause means a lot to me because that song, as you could probably tell, does. The photographs were all of me and our family, in case you weren't sure at the beginning. That's me on my dad's shoulders on the beach in Kent when I was 1. So, the second last, no, actually the third last person I'm going to ask up here. We haven't got a clip from him, but this is TERL's. TERL did his recordings for drums and percussion in his own studio down in Sussex. And these are, I believe, all of the instruments he played. TERL told me, and I'm sorry if you were going to say this, but if I've stolen it from you, but you said you'd used more percussion instruments on this album than on any other project. Everybody who ever plays music with me knows I love percussion. So TERL was the person I absolutely wanted. We hadn't played together for 20, 25 years probably. Absolutely wanted to have on this album. I was delighted when he could do it because his percussion. And we did this album backwards. Normally, when you make an album, you record the rhythm and the bass and the tracks, and then you do the vocals at the end. Because I had a cancer diagnosis before I went in for chemotherapy, I didn't know if I would ever be able to sing or have the energy or even be here. So I said to Adam, can we go in and record 5 vocals? So we made very rough tracks and did my 5 vocals. And then we had to add everything else onto it. And the last thing we added, more or less, was all the drums and percussion, which is normally where you start from. TERL, come up. You did an absolutely stonking job.
The thing is, all this quantum physics and faith, I don't know. For me, as a musician, as a drummer, I do know it's about chemistry. Because whenever you make music with people, there's always a chemistry, and it either works or it doesn't work. But our job is to try and find a way of making it work. And that feels to me like a big part of this whole mixture of faith and chemistry of relationship. And, that's part of my journey. And, chemistry has gaps, relationships have gaps. Godfrey mentioned that we worked together about 25 or more, maybe longer even, 30 years ago. And that's kind of the way sometimes it happens. You have this connection, this chemistry, and something's produced, a sound or a song, and then you go away and your life moves in another direction and other things happen and things come and go, and then 30 years later you get a phone call from an old mate, says, are you about? I'd love you to play on my record. By the way, I'm really ill. I don't know if I'm going to be around very long. And it's like, panic. But it's an absolute pleasure, and I'm so grateful you asked me. And by the way, in amongst those things, it's so funny because there's a whole bunch of instruments on this record that haven't been out of my percussion boxes.
I called you up one day and you said, sorry, I couldn't take your call. I was in the garage trying to find my something or other.
Half the time I spent was rootling around in the garage, looking around and moving old spiders and cobwebs and, to find, the flexitone or that's the thing that goes, Anyway, it was an absolute joy to do this. And, when I was driving up and listening to the songs, I just wanted to say, really well done. Well done, Godfrey. Well done, Adam. And well done the whole team.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't help thinking of the words in the little Christmas hymn, O Little Town of Bethlehem, when it says, there's a line in it that says, the hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. And in many ways, listening to the album, that's what it sounds like to me. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. So everybody's contribution was unique, and TERL's, Adam and I said when we knew he was coming in late, but we said when TERL comes in, this will pull it all together. And you just did a fantastic job. TERL and David have played together for 30 years or more. And I think, David, you said it was the first time that TERL would have to play to your woodwinds rather than doing it the other way around, yeah? It was stunning. And what you did on that last song, you really transformed that with the rhythm. It wasn't at all what I expected, and it was absolutely perfect what you did with it. So, absolute joy to work with all of you. The next track, we've got one long, one short track to go. We'll be a few minutes late, but not too much, which is unusual for me, I know. Entangled, Voices of the Scientist and the Mystic. Things aren't what they seem. In the 1920s, quantum theory exploded into a scientific world already struggling to come to terms with Einstein's cataclysmic reshaping of time and space, and soon to discover the Big Bang. A century later, it's exactly 100 years since the recognized starting point. Quantum physics is opening up staggering possibilities for technology. By the way, I don't understand it at all. I read lots of books about it. And much deeper and quite different understandings about the nature of reality. And scientists are still wrestling with how it can be reconciled with Einstein's version of the relative universe. Three other big questions that are unanswered by science. What is human consciousness? That basic awareness that we exist and we have identity. And why is there anything at all? Is it accidental? Or is there another entity or intelligence that designed and intended these increasingly bewildering processes? Is there a creator? The thousands of gods, and there are 30,000 named gods, I believe, in history, that are devised by humans, they were early and sometimes still hopeful candidates, but none appears to perfectly fit the bill. It seems that quantum entanglement, what Einstein called spooky action at a distance, where electrons can simultaneously and predictably, despite being millions of miles apart, they can act together. It seems that entanglement may hold a key, not the whole answer, but a key to many of these questions. And then, finally, in the words of Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it? So, what better than a folk song to suggest how these perplexing matters may all be reconciled? So, inspired in part by the books of Carlo Rovelli, especially Helgoland, and including the most famous words of the 14th century mystic Julian of Norwich. Other answers are available, probably.
Heisenberg on Helgoland, 1925. The moment physics made its quantum leap into our lives. Everything we thought was true turned to mystery. We only know what we've observed, the rest's uncertainty.
Things can't be in two places at the same time,
but they are.
Things can't be a particle and a wave at the same time,
but they are. Oh yes, they are. And Schrodinger's cat's alive and dead, enclosed within its box, till someone lifts the lid and unlocks the paradox. Take pity on this kitty, for its fate is plain to see. It existed only in a field of probability.
now you can walk through a wall if your quanta are improbably aligned.
It's really true.
Though you likely wouldn't want to run the risk that you just find
A bruise or two that's turning blue. The most successful theory modern science has devised shows stuff's more weird and eerie than we ever realize. If you want them to be quantum, you may find it's no mistake that things are nothing more than the relations that they make.
Electrons are entangled right across the universe.
There is no doubt.
Things in black holes will get mangled, but then shift into reverse
And shoot back out, or just about.
We don't think thoughts, but thoughts think us. It's more like waiting for a bus. Ideas and prayers and wayward dreams pass through us in synaptic streams. Notions travel through our mind down force fields of an unknown kind that may come from a single source that we may call the universe, or God if you prefer. It's up to you.
Oh yes, we are.
entangled. We are entangled.
Oh yes, we are. Maybe the programmer of this universe wrote out a cosmic code that called up lots of energy and caused it to explode. This dance of transformation into matter and to heat turned physics, chemistry, biology into a heart that beats.
Did I mention the intention was to form identity?
Or so it seems.
Each of us a shining flow of sacred energy,
And not just memes or DNA's regimes. Maybe consciousness is forces that were present from the start, intended to serve up the cold dark matter of the heart. evolving into creatures reaching for the stars above, releasing the transforming power of sacrificial love.
A recipe for living cooked for 14 billion years.
Or somewhere near.
A power that breaks out anywhere, though we've just seen it here.
Because we're here. And that's not so queer. Maybe Jesus is alive and dead and sealed inside his tomb, then walks through walls to his disciples in an upper room. Black holes turn to white holes, jump from death to birth, a quantum leap of love to a new heaven and new earth.
You can't be mortal and immortal at the same time,
unless you are.
Even though the thought will leave you out of brain time
to think that far, but the door is now ajar, and the mystic and the scientist go walking close at hand, partners on a journey through an endless promised land, entangled in the search for what is true and what is love, to imagine what might be, then find some evidences of
entropy and resurrection cannot coexist,
or else they do.
The cosmos is a story waiting for its latest twist.
It's up to you to make it true. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well, and all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well.
The need to talk, the need to know, the need to watch the river flow, the need to wonder if we'll find, the need to hope, to dream, to love, the need to learn the meaning of the force behind the force behind the forces of our minds.
God plays dice with Einstein while he's knowing Hawking's mind, to learn about the possibilities that he's designed. Newton, Maxwell, Faraday, and Dirac, Borg and Bohr, hear creation grown in childbirth as each new equation is born.
Truth is possibility, the rest is up to you.
Entangled, we are entangled.
Truth is possibility, the rest is up to you.
See, all you need is a few good Tom Lehrer rhymes, actually. That's what does it. Last track coming up, but before that, first of all, Leo did a brilliant job. He worked really hard learning those two poems. It's fantastic, thank you. And Leo will be at receipt of customs selling you albums afterwards. Okay. He's actually more keen on that than he is on the music, I think. One other person I have to introduce, the mean and moody looking producer. The guy without whom this would not have happened at all. Having a son who happens to be a music producer, engineer, mixer, guitarist, keyboard player, backing vocalist, and has a studio 2 miles down the road, is very convenient when you decide at short notice you want to make an album. As you've seen from the little clips, that just gave a feel for how much Adam has contributed to doing all of that. I couldn't have done it without him. Come on, give him a biggest hand.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Quite a journey.
So
started off as 5 tracks, finished up as 8.
Yeah. So it started off as something, you know, we all had a bad situation, and this was going to be something nice that we could do in a bad situation. And then it obviously grew, as things with Godfrey do, they grow into things like this, which is great. So there's only 2 things I want to say. It's more about you guys than it is about me or Dad, actually. The first thing, so if there's anything you take away from tonight, first thing I hope is a copy of the album. The second thing is I hope that you get an insight into the process that goes into most of the things that you see and watch. You know, probably everybody here listens to music, probably everybody here watches a film or something like that, and I think it's really easy to sort of pass it off as something that's just a fleeting moment. When I first met my wife, it's not a wedding speech, I promise. When I first met my wife, I told her I was a musician, which looking back was a risky move. But when she first met me and heard that, she was probably quite rightly under the impression that I sort of just rock up to somewhere, play a few songs, rock on home, life's good. But actually, over the last 10 years, has discovered that there is so much that goes into every little thing. And I think it's really important for actually everyone to get to see just the conception of an idea. I think we spent 25 days recording, not including all the people who had me barking orders at them for weeks at a time, which I'm very grateful to their patience. But no, it's such a huge thing, and every song that you hear is likely. It takes a lot for someone to have an idea and follow through to this extent, like my dad's done, because it takes a lot of, you know, creativity. It takes many ideas. It takes having the ability to bring people together, because not everyone can do that. Having such an eclectic and talented mix of people from every generation is quite special as well. But I really think it's important that, you get to take away this, maybe an understanding of just how much people put into the art that you consume on a daily basis. So I think he's a really good example of that. So, well done.
Yeah. Thank you. Final song, Voices of True Lovers. The ultimate human entanglement is love. Whether it's romantic, familiar, altruistic, or sacrificial. To find that you are not going to be abandoned and that someone else is committed to be with you regardless of what happens or what has happened in the past. The refrain of this song, "Will you stay with me?" is not so much a question as an expression of wonder that the other is not going to leave. It's based on the book of Ruth in the Old Testament, but you don't need to know that story for the song to make sense.
Have failed, all my hopes curtailed, and my dreams derailed. Will you stay with me?
Keep me on your mind, futures intertwined. Always being kind, will you stay with me? With the heart of a faithful friend, you have let me know there's a love that will never end. You will stay till it's time for me to go.
Though I'm off the track, though I'm on the rack, church is cold. Stories all are told. Though I'm growing old, will you stay with me? With the heart of a faithful friend, you have let me know there's a love that will never end. You will stay till it's time for me to go. Oh, my soul's reprieve, I could not conceive you would never leave. Will you stay with me? Will you stay with me? Will you stay with me? Will you stay with me?
Come up and take a bow. Huh? Paul, if you got your camera, can you come and take a picture? Does he want to come up, Leo?
You come up.
Leo, no? Okay.
Come up. I'm looking at you.
Yay!
Julia.
Oh, face the tiger.
Julia, Adam's wife, everybody in the family had to contribute. Julia played 4 notes on the triangle. Come here. One thing I didn't say is that quite a lot of these guys haven't met each other before tonight. They've worked together on this collaboration. Some know each other very well, and quite a few others have never met.
Sorry, who are you?
No, I don't know everybody, so I'm not going to embarrass them. Thank you. Thank you all very much for being here and listening, and I hope enjoying. Let me just tell you, while you're taking photos, let me just tell you there's plenty of food and refreshments afterwards. Please hang around as long as you may choose to. And if you'd like to buy an album, either CD or download or both, and you can buy them. We have a card reader at the back. Leo will take your money. The money will all go through to Cancer Research UK. It'll be resting in my account for a little while. As Father Ted might say, resting in my account, but it'll go through. And tonight you can take a CD or CDs away, and you'd also take a token away for a download, which you can straight away just type in on your phone, and you can download the album. We're suggesting a minimum of £10, but please pay as much as you like or as you can. If you want to have buy albums for your friends, please do that, because obviously it's all for a good cause. Thank you all very much. I knew I couldn't keep you down.
Godfrey and Tessa said to me, I don't have to say anything. But as Vicar of St. John's, I can't help but, should we just say thank you again to this wonderful family? Let's show them some love. Thank you so much. We love you, Godfrey. We love you, Tessa. We love you all, and we pray for you. We do that. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.